You know those terrifying creatures from ancient legends? The ones we were told were fake? What if I told you they were real? Not just stories, but bones, fossils, and living nightmares buried beneath our feet. And some might still be out there. Welcome to Explore Unknown, where we dig into the stories the world tried to forget and bring you the truth, one mystery at a time. Long before cities and satellites, we humans sat around fires, trying to make sense of the world. We told stories of flying beasts, sea monsters, one-eyed demons, creatures too terrifying to name. We called them myths to protect ourselves from the fear that they might actually be real. But science has caught up, and today we're revealing 5 mythical creatures that didn't just exist in stories. They lived, they ruled, and maybe they still do. The nightmare from the ocean, Cthulhu. A creature with the wings of a dragon, the face of an octopus, and eyes like the depths of the ocean. That's Cthulhu, a beast so terrifying, even death fears it. For decades, it was nothing more than fiction, created by writer H.P. Lovecraft. But then, scientists found something real. Cthulhu, a giant prehistoric squid that swam the oceans over 90 million years ago, during the reign of the dinosaurs. It stretched up to 30 feet long, longer than a school bus, and its tentacles were strong enough to crush anything in its path. A ghost of the deep. Some experts now believe Lovecraft might have drawn inspiration from fossil records like these. And here's the terrifying part. Fishermen across the Pacific still report sightings of massive shadows moving under the waves. No eyes, no heartbeat, just presence. Some call it myth, but others? They say Cthulhu never left. The sound no one could explain, the bloop. It happened in 1997. A deep, haunting rumble echoed from the heart of the South Pacific. So powerful, it was picked up over 5,000 miles away. Scientists called it the bloop. At first, no one panicked. Maybe it was ice breaking or underwater volcanoes. But the sound pattern wasn't mechanical. It was organic. To make a sound that loud, whatever caused it would have to be 100 times larger than a blue whale, the biggest animal ever known. That's when the internet exploded with theories. A sleeping sea god? A prehistoric leviathan? A living megalodon? Eventually, researchers claimed it came from glaciers breaking apart. But the fear remained, because long before the bloop, there was Sasquatch, a 52-foot fish with over 400 teeth, a living submarine that ruled Jurassic seas. And with 95% of the ocean still unexplored, who's to say something like it isn't still down there watching? The flying demon. Dragons weren't all fantasy. Since childhood, we've seen them. Giant dragons breathing fire, guarding treasure, soaring over castles. Europe feared them. China worshipped them. But science? Science laughed. Until we found Quetzalcoatl, not a bird, not a dinosaur, but something in between. With a wingspan of 40 feet, it glided over ancient Earth like a shadow from the heavens. Named after a feathered serpent god from Aztec legend, this creature was real, and it didn't need fire to terrify. It could scoop up prey the size of a human and disappear into the clouds. Its bones are still being studied, but one thing is clear: dragons weren't a dream. They were history. The monster of the Amazon, Wari. In the darkest part of the Amazon rainforest, some tribes still whisper one name, Wari. They say it's massive, covered in hair, with one eye, no neck, and a mouth on its stomach. It reeks so badly that anyone who gets near passes out. They say it eats people, and it's still out there. Scientists laughed until they discovered fossils of Megatherium, a ground sloth over 20 feet long, weighing as much as 4 tons. It lived in the same forest these tribes now inhabit. It had enormous claws, and it was terrifyingly real. Even today, some locals swear they've seen it, deep in the jungle, moving silently between trees. And if they're right, that means a prehistoric monster still walks among us. All our lives, we're told legends aren't real, but bones don't lie. From sea monsters to thunder beasts, these weren't just figments of imagination. They were real. And maybe, just maybe, some still breathe. So ask yourself, how much of what we call myth is just truth we haven't discovered yet. Which of these creatures gave you chills? Would you dare explore the deep, dark places they once ruled? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, like, share, and subscribe to Explore Unknown for more stories that blur the line between fantasy and reality. The truth isn't just out there. Sometimes, it's buried deep inside us.